Welcome to the show, everyone, and this is a new financial literacy show that is brought to you by KDR TV in conjunction with Ken's Money Matters. Ken's Money Matters is a financial literacy platform which I founded some time back. So this was basically after I realized that one of the things we are lacking as a people and as a society is financial literacy that is focused on our people. And I've done some videos on just why Black people in particular require a different approach to financial literacy. And this is something that's very dear to me and I'm very passionate about. It's my passion that has brought me here. And so together with KDR TV, we decided to have a weekly show whereby we'll just be talking about money. So Ken's Money Matters basically brings you everything to do with personal finances, investments, everything to do with business opportunities, do with money making streams, and money mindset basically. So we basically tackle everything money. We talk about all ways in which we can make money, we can develop ourselves, and we can build wealth over time, because we haven't been taught to build wealth consistently and patiently and see it grow. We have been taught to gratify ourselves at the moment. So we lack the financial foundation to actually think of wealth building instead of just becoming rich. So most people are into this mentality of trying to be rich quite fast, but that's not the mentality that actually builds a generational wealth. We have to think long term. We have to think in a way that we can build serious wealth that we can pass on to our future generations. So Ken's Money Matters is basically a financial literacy platform. It's a platform whereby I talk about everything money. It's also on YouTube. If you want to find more information about the things we will be discussing here, you can go to Ken's Money Matters YouTube. And of course, here at KDR TV, we'll try as much as possible to bring you lots of information about investments, about personal finance management, about money generally, and even just mindsets on how to deal with money issues. So this is what I do full time. This is my passion. This is my drive. This is the dream I have to bring financial literacy to Africa as a whole. We're starting with my home, which is Kenya. So this is the dream, and I hope you guys will support me through this dream. So when I talk about financial literacy, there are so many things we could look at. But in this first video, I just want to look at thinking long term with regards to finance and investing. We as a people haven't been taught to think long term. It's one of the things we struggle with most. I talk to so many people in my line of work. I talk to so many people who want to start the process of building wealth, or becoming rich as they call it. Of course, rich here is relative, but a lot of people want to build wealth. A lot of people want to have some financial achievement, but they do not know how and what should they do in order to get there. So we will discuss all those things in this particular show. But today, let me tell you one of the most important things to building wealth. It is thinking long term. If you want to build wealth, you need to think long term, and you need to start at whatever stage of life you are. Of course, I always say it's much easier when you start early. So in your 20s, you are likely to build more wealth in an easier way than someone who is in their 30s. And in your 30s, it's much easier to build wealth than someone in their 40s. So the earlier you begin, the better. Calculation and research has been done, and it shows that a difference of just 5 years in investing could make a big difference when it comes to the portfolio or the nest egg at the end of the day. So it's very important that you start your process of investing as soon as possible. As soon as you realize, what, I need to start thinking of investing. Now, this is where thinking long term will help us. Because if you are a young person, if you are in your 20s, most likely thinking of 40s or 50s becomes a problem for most people, especially our people, because we haven't been taught to think beyond this month. So most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Most of us are living in a way whereby we do not have any security or any investment that we can actually rely on in the next 10, 20 years. But remember, wealth building is a process. So if you do not begin at the moment, if you do not begin as early as possible, chances are you are not going to build wealth. You may become rich, you may get some money, you may get some windfall, but you won't build real wealth. Real wealth will require time, consistency, dedication, and serious discipline. But the most important thing is time. And that's why I tell young people especially to always think about the time they have. The only advantage they have over other people is the time on their side. The power of compounding or the power of patience can only support you if you have enough time. So that doesn't mean that it's hopeless for older people. It just means we have to include everyone, and we have to start talking about financial literacy as early as possible and think about long-term investing. Most of us are always thinking of, how do you get a job and start earning some money? How do you get some money next week or next month or next year? How do you buy a car? How do you buy some small land, in Kitengela, at the river, or whatever place it may be? But nobody is thinking, how is my portfolio going to be in the next 30 to 40 years? And that's where we differ. And that's the mindset we need to change for us to start building wealth as a people. So this is just one of those components that before I even start talking about investing, about personal finance management, and about the investment options that we have as a people, we have to change our mindset with regards to how we think about wealth. And when I talk about wealth here, I'm talking about something that is intergenerational, something that can be passed from one generation to another. So for example, in the community where I live right now, I live in London, you find that most people, especially people around my age, they get a lot of boost from their parents when they're going to buy their first houses. Or even if not just houses, anytime they want to move out of their parents' house and start their own life, they get some financial boost. So there's a foundation already for them. But we do not have this same foundation, but we need to create it. But this foundation that they do get boosts them into becoming much, much better financially in the future. Because if someone gives you like £100,000, for example, to buy your first house, or to, put as a deposit or whatever it is for your first investment, that person has gotten a very huge boost that someone starting from zero may not be able to catch up in life if that person stays on track. So if you think about it in that sense, we need to think of wealth building, not just being rich. We have a lot of our people who are rich in money. They have some money, so we can consider them rich. But how many people do we have that have built wealth over time? There are very few. But this is something that should be very normal. It should be normal for us to think, okay, if I have children, what am I going to leave behind for them to continue building this generational wealth? If I have family looking up to me, what can I pass over to them that's not just cash, that's not just handouts? So this is one of my first advice, is that we need to start thinking long-term with regards to investment. Thinking long-term has so many advantages. Of course, it would mean that you can take more risks if you think long-term. It also means that you can invest in things that can patiently give you money, that won't be trying to make you $1 million the next day. It also means that time will be on your side. And if you make any mistakes, you can rebound and come back to the market, whatever market it is, and make more money. So there are so many advantages. Apart from the compounding effect, there are so many advantages of thinking long term. And like I say, let's think of building wealth, not just making some money. Let's think of building wealth consistently and patiently. So those of you who are with me in this process, I hope this is going to be a lovely journey, a lovely show, whereby we will just be talking about making money, investing, and anything to do with financial literacy. So like I said, you're free to go to Ken's Money Matters. You'll find so much information in Ken's Money Matters. You'll find so many videos, hundreds of videos in there that will talk to you about investment options, personal finances, and even more. But like I said again, at KDR TV, we're going to be doing this every week. I will be doing a video on different topics. And if you want to engage with us, feel free to send in your questions, send in your comments, send in your suggestions of how we can make this a wonderful session for us to learn as much as possible about financial literacy. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you again next week when we have another session. Let Ken's Money Matters and KDR TV. Thank you.